Riverfest. Let's plan a trip to Valley City tonight on Small Town Spotlight, sponsored by Essentia.
Breaking news overnight, 2 people are being treated for injuries after an apparent fight in South Fargo got out of hand.
The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live this morning with the latest. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. This is right here at the 1700 block of 25th Avenue South, which is in South Fargo, right at the Summerfield Apartments. And yes, there was an apparent fight that did cause 2 injuries. One person had a stab wound. The other person had other injuries, and at this time, we're not sure what that is. But police presence was pretty heavy here overnight around 11:30 in this area as they were trying to put the pieces together on what was going on. They still have things that they have to sort out, but those 2 injuries are things that we can confirm. Now, they are saying that none of these are considered to be life-threatening injuries at this time, so they're both expected to be okay. They also said they believe that they talked to everyone that they could have about what did happen here overnight, and we are expected to get more details later on this morning. I did reach out anyway because I wanted to see if there was more that I could provide this morning, just to see what else I could add on. They didn't have anything new at this time, so again, once I receive that information, I'll continue to keep you updated. But as of right now, Jordan and Lisa, I'm going to toss it back to you both in studio.
Brian Sherrod reporting live. Thank you for that update. Also breaking out of Moorhead this morning, police are looking for at least 2 people who got away from officers in a stolen car after a chase early this morning. It happened around 2 a.m. Police say they tried stopping a driver who had multiple warrants out for their arrest, but they stopped that chase near Johnson Drive and 16th Street South.
And they later found the abandoned car at 20th Street and 40th Avenue South. They brought in a canine team to do a track, but they came up empty. People living in that area are now urged to check their security cameras to see if they captured the suspects.
A Fargo woman was cited for disorderly conduct after a disturbance at a conference in Moorhead. Police were called to the courtyard by Marriott last night on reports of a large disturbance.
It happened at a conference being held on opposing a controversial education theory. 35-year-old Vanessa Clark was charged, then released from the scene. Police say others may now also face charges.
8 minutes before 7 o'clock. Sounds like we're going to have another hot one today. Let's check in with Lisa Green.
Yeah, today's going to be one of those days you're going to find ways to stay cool, including maybe grabbing that iced coffee this morning instead of the hot coffee. Maybe grabbing that iced coffee this morning instead of the hot coffee. It's already feeling kind of warm as you step out the door. We've got sunshine, temperature in Fargo right at 66 degrees. It's mostly sunny, and it's starting to get a little breezy out there too. Here's a look at the latest radar and satellite map. You can see it's pretty quiet for us here in the valley, but we're watching for storms for later on today, and there's a little cluster that's just west of our viewing area, and that is going to try to move in. It's been weakening a bit, but still tracking that, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little bit of rain in places like Carrington here over the next hour or so. Here's a look at our area conditions. Our view in Grand Forks, nice and bright and blue. We've got the flags moving a little bit in the wind. 66 right now in Fargo, 59 in Grand Forks, 60 in Thief River Falls, 59 in Bemidji, 59 in Bemidji, and 66 both in Fergus Falls and in Devil's Lake, with plenty of sun again across the valley. And checking out those winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour for your steady speeds. This wind coming in out of the southeast, starting to see some gusts here, getting into the 20s. Not a real problem right now, but it's an indication that we're going to have those winds picking up as we continue through the day. But some gusts perhaps into that 30 to 40 mile per hour range, feeding in, fueling that heat into the valley. And you can see our afternoon planner. It's going to be a hot one. We're looking at temperatures back into the 90s, especially in southeastern North Dakota, and farther south down into South Dakota. We could be near that 100-degree mark in some areas. So some hot weather there, but everywhere we're looking at least 80s, mid 80s to some upper 80s for a lot of folks in the east as well. Windy again, and then on top of that, there's that chance for some storms this afternoon and evening. They will be isolated, so most of us will likely miss out on the rain. I know we're still wanting more rain, and we'll likely see just a couple of spots get it. But in addition to that, there is the potential for that some of these storms could be severe. We're looking at the southeastern part of our viewing area, basically Fargo, Moorhead, and points south of there and east from there and beyond, where we're in a marginal risk in this deeper green, indicating the potential for all types of severe weather. Low end risk, but still there, something to watch. The rest of us still have a chance for rain and thunderstorms, but perhaps not as strong. Looking at that 7-day planner, today is the hot day. Still warm tomorrow, but we're really cooling things back heading into Father's Day weekend and beyond. Check out Monday. A high in the 60s potentially here. So after a warm stretch, a hot stretch, kind of changing things up here in the extended planner.
Okay. little bit of something for everyone if you don't like it hot or if you don't like it cool, like me. Thank you, Lisa. Grand Forks voters are deciding an $86 million bond issue. And it's not just a vote to build a new school. There are several moving parts at the heart of it. A yes vote would turn the space near the Valley Middle School into a 243,000 square foot mega school, capable of housing 1,000 students in K through 8.
At the same time, a yes vote would consolidate Valley Middle School and 3 elementary schools, West, which has already closed, along with Wilder and Winship, and it would come at a cost to taxpayers. The special election is this coming Tuesday, June 22nd, from 7 to 7 at the Alara Center. You can also vote absentee in person all this week at the Grand Forks County Building.
North Dakota's Attorney General has a reminder to homeowners to use caution when hiring a contractor to do work on your home. Some homeowners in Grand Forks say they have been taken advantage of by the owner of the company, Mendoza's Masterpiece.
They say they paid owner Elliot Mendoza money up front, but he never delivered on the service requested. The director of North Dakota's Consumer Protection Division says these types of situations are far too common.
We have many cases we've investigated, consumer fraud involving bad contractors that have taken thousands of dollars in advance payments and never returned to do the work.
No officials suggest limiting or eliminating the amount of a down payment, only conducting business with a licensed contractor and doing research, including asking for references.
We reached out to Mendoza for a comment, but the number listed for his business had been disconnected. Part of a small town in McLean County, North Dakota was evacuated yesterday after someone found what was believed to be a World War I mortar while cleaning out a family home. Dispatchers got a call from a man in Underwood who found an old mortar round but was not sure if it was live.
The county sheriff's office called in for help from the Bismarck Bomb Squad and Minot Air Force Base explosive disposal crew. Investigators identified the item as an anti-personnel 75mm mortar round. They took it to a landfill and detonated it. Many lakegoers say they are scratching earlier than usual, as recent hot temps have swimmers itching and having swimmers itch over lakes all across the valley. The Minnesota DNR says it's actually hard to predict, but usually 2 to 3 weeks after the hot weather streak is when the peak of swimmers itch diminishes.
In the meantime, swim further out from the shore and dry off and wash up immediately after getting out of the water to prevent those parasites from latching onto your skin.
Parents will bring them in wondering, what is this weird rash? Is this anything I need to worry about? And typically it's not. It's self-limiting. It's going to go away on its own, typically within 2 weeks.
The Minnesota DNR adds so far they have not yet seen any reports of blue-green algae, but say if conditions don't change, lakegoers could face a different reality. The most likely place that toxic blooms would grow first are smaller ponds, backyards, and wetlands. If you're eligible to give blood, you'll want to hear this. The American Red Cross is now facing a severe blood shortage. Donors of all types are needed, especially type O and for those blood platelets.
People are urged to make an appointment as soon as possible, as the demand has grown by 20%. Some hospitals are being forced to slow the pace of elective surgeries until the blood supply stabilizes. 38% of U.S. citizens can give blood, but only less than 10% actually does.
And there is a donating opportunity on Thursday, June 17th from 10 until 4 in the afternoon at First International Bank and Trust in Fargo. You do have to be at least 17 years old or 16 with parental consent. You have to weigh at least 110 pounds and be in good health.
There are incentives for giving blood, a $5 Amazon gift card. This will go until June 30th. We have more information on how to sign up at valleynewslive.com.
Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question today is, men on average will do this fewer than 10 times today.
Well, this is sad. The answer is smile. Although if you do it 10 times, that's a pretty good amount of times.
That's not very, there's 24 hours in a day. You're not even smiling once an hour. Granted, you sleep for half of it, but.
Well, smile a little bit more. And remember, you can join us every weekday morning by playing along. Just go to our Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but remember the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now for more live up-to-the-minute news and weather right now on the Fargo CW.
And I smiled for that, did you notice?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right there. One of my 10 times, 9 more to go.
Average.
All right, have a great Wednesday, everybody.